Hey everybody, I have no idea how long or short this is going to be. If you're already done with your project, look for some special instructions. I may or may not make you do this depending on how long it is. If it's not super long, I'm going to make everybody do it. But this is specifically for people who haven't turned in their project yet to help them get their project done. So I'm going to switch over to share my screen. All right, and you should have a link to get into this. You can use either the new link that I've provided in the assignment, or you can use the one you already have for your project. When you get done, you may have to tell me where you put the thing. So the idea is I'm going to go through most of this with you. We're going to do part of the project together, and then I'm going to give you a few things that you have to finish on your own to get full credit. So first of all, we've got circles. This is our general formula for a circle. And we have learned in class that whatever I'm subtracting from the y is what makes my y center. Whatever I'm subtracting from my x is what makes my x center. And then this is the radius squared. So like if I change this to 36, it will make my circle here have a radius of 6. So 36, and you can kind of see that is, so it should be 12 across. It goes from 7 down to, yeah, it's 12 across, okay? Because 6 is from the center out. So that's 36. And if I want to go move it up to here, this looks like it's at 510. So I'm going to change the y value to 10. Oh, that moved it up right. And then if I change that to 5, oh, wrong way. Okay, because it's a -5. So I can put minus a -5. That'll work. That gets me centered now. Or minus -5 is the same as a +5. So now that's centered. Didn't move because this is the same. And then I just got to figure out how big this is. So let me try 25. Still too big. Let me try 20. Oh, I think I made this one 16. Yeah. So the radius there is 4. So from that center, -510 out to the edge, it is 4. So 4 from the center out. And this whole pattern of minusing from the y and minusing from the x is going to be true of all of our translations, and then it's a matter of how do I dilate it to make it bigger or smaller. In this case, with that, I do that there. Okay, going to the next screen. We've got another circle. This is same pattern, except this is showing this is one way you can dilate the circle. The number underneath the y, if we do it this way, actually controls the y stretching out. So this is stretched in the x direction. So I'm going to try to change this to a 2 and see what it does. Yeah, that stretched it out in the x direction. Oh, now it looks almost exactly right. Notice if I do a 2 over here, it'll stretch it out some in the y direction. I can make it, if that was the 1. You can put them up top. It's just, this is a different way to organize it. You don't have to write them this way. You could actually multiply times the y and multiply times the x, but it kind of does backwards of what you'd expect. Okay, I need to move this over. It looks like it's up a little bit, maybe up 2. Yeah, that moved it up. And then this is to the right. I'm going to guess 3, not quite there. There we go. Perfect. So once again, our center of our new circle is 4, 2, because what I'm subtracting from the x, what I'm subtracting from the y. And then I just kind of guessed. Oh, I didn't change the 16 at all. I just manipulated these two. I don't think I changed that. Anyway, okay, same kind of pattern, but different formula. So we're just controlling right now the center, which is actually our vertex here. So this thing right now is now at 1, 0. You can see that there. So that's our -1 and our -0. And we want to get it down to what looks like, what's that? 3, -1. So if I change that to 3, it'll shift it over. And if I change that to a -1, it'll move it down. And once again, I can do -1 or negative, minus a negative is just like a plus. If I start going too fast, pause me and do it yourself. But you should be following along. If you're not following along, back up and do the first, go find that link, open it up and do those first 3 screens. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to get my center up at, let's see, 4, 2 is where my center is right there. It's basically 4, 2. So I know my x -4 and my y -2. And this is kind of showing that same pattern. The negative is what flipped it. If I change that to a positive, you'll notice it flips the other way. And is it not steep enough? Let me try 4. Oh no, that makes it less steep. when I do it this way. Okay, so if I make that 1, that's too much. 2 was right. Okay. Once again, you can put the coefficients at the top, but if you divide by the coefficients, it's just a different pattern. We actually haven't shown this pattern in class, but it's kind of cool that it does what you kind of expected to do. It's just in the divisor rather than up at the top. Okay, same idea, even with a line. Y minus equals, this is our slope. This is how steep it is. So if I make this 5, it'll get steeper. 6, oops. 6, it'll get steeper. 0.1, it'll get less steep, or 1/2, it'll be less steep. And then to flip it over, I got to put a negative out front. So that's how we get it to flip over. So we're flipped in the right direction. I'm going to try to get it parallel first. That looks like it may be -2, maybe. In fact, I could probably figure that out. -2, nope, not quite. -3, -4, -5. Okay, this parallel. Now I want to move this 0, 0 point over to this point. I can actually move this anywhere, but that's the right idea. This is at 0, 0. I want to translate it over 3 and down 1. So over 3, x minus 3, and then down 1 would be minus a -1 or +1. Now those things line up. All right, next one, same idea. Oh, this one actually suggests you just get it to line up with one of these points first and then try to adjust it. So let's do that. Let's move, I'm going to move everything to, that's 3, 2. I sometimes get my x's and y. So my x is at 3. Oops, not 21. 3. And my y is at 2. So now I'm going through that point. That's where I translated 0, 0 to. And then I just got to get this. So now this is a fraction. I can tell this goes up 1 and over 5. It's a positive 1/5 there. Or I could also have put a 0.2 out front. So once again, this pattern holds true. This is not the only way to write a line, but it's kind of a neat way to manipulate one, which is what we're going to need to do here in a minute. Oh, I got a table. If I type in table, it creates this x1, y1. I can then plot points. And then the cool thing is, if I say polygon, if I spell it right, it'll turn solid again. Parentheses, x1 makes a little subscript 1, comma, y1 makes a little subscript. And then it takes those points and it kind of graphs them. It graphs them in order, which could be a problem later if you're doing a rectangle and you do a weird order. It may look like an hourglass and not a rectangle. And then the other thing I can do is I actually can say what happens if I make the x's negative. So negative x1, comma, y1. And that does a reflection, which we've done in class. We're like, oh yeah, if I take all these values, I make all the x's negative, but keep all the y's. We've seen that pattern before. It makes a reflection. Really useful thing to do in a moment. Let's see. So we've got another triangle here. So once I got this by typing table. That's how I got that. Once again, if you type table, it gives you that. Notice this made it x2, y2. So whatever I've got there, I'd want to do with that another name, but I'm going to delete that. Hold on. How do I get rid of it? There we go. Oh, new line. So I got a new line by just hitting enter right there. Anyway, oh, if you screw things up, which I kind of just did, if you hit the little cog, you can reset and it gets everything back to where you started. Polygon. I'm just reading the directions here on the line above. X1, Y1. So it's going to graph that circle once again, or not circle, that triangle, the points up there. And then I can do a rotation and a dilation. Polygon. -2, y1, comma, 2x1. So the swapping the y1 and the x1 is what's called the rotation. And then the 2 and the 2 causes a reflection. Actually, the negative y1, x1. If I hadn't put the 2's in there, it would have just done a rotation. We can tell that's a rotation. But the 2's double it. If I only do it on 1, it does a distortion. All right. What do we got? One left. Oh, so this is just reminding you. Hey, yeah, this is the last one, I think. So type in the word table. Table, magic. Any 3 coordinates. Okay, 1, 0, -2, 3. I'm just making things up. 4, 5. Okay, if that doesn't make kind of a triangle, if it makes more of a straight line, I'd change one of those points. Okay, polygon. X1, comma, Y1. Okay, beautiful. Type the word table again, table, 4 corners. Okay, this I'm gonna do this out of order. This is just 0, 0, 3, 0, 3, 4, 0, 4. I'm gonna do this a little out of order because I'm gonna show you what might happen. I'm gonna do 3, 4 next, and then 3, 0, and then 0, 4. So that's 4 points. And then if I say polygon X2, because that's the name in my table, Y2. Yeah, see, when it draws this thing, it does them in order. So I need to kind of go around. From the 0, 0, I need to do 3, 0 next. And then the next one was 3, 4. And now those in order, because it draws them in order. So if you're doing them in a weird order, you might get a shape you're not expecting. And then it says, for fun, click on the settings and cog and change the shape or outline. So just as a reminder, if like for anything you want to change the color for, if you click on the cog, these things become solid. And then I can say, oh, I want that to be orange and I want to have a dotted line around the edge. And maybe I want the line to be really dark. Okay, so that's what when I hit done. The other thing is if you just click on the buttons, you can turn the things on or off. Like, oh, if I don't like those dots here, like I'm using them, but I don't want them there, I can turn them off up here. So I'm gonna turn those off. And I'm actually gonna turn those off too. All right, I think we're done here. So in the previous slides, is any of the previous slides incorrect or unfinished? No, I got them all. I'm just gonna say, I'm fairly certain done and this is correct. Okay. Next one. Was there something you noticed or wondered about the previous slides? You've got to write that down. Hopefully your classmates have written something. You'll see what they said. So write something there. Okay, I'm assuming you've gone back and looked and you've stated something you noticed and wondered. It's worth points. Got to do it. If you're just watching because I forced you to watch, you already turned your project in. You don't have to do that part. Okay, so this is just making sure we remember how we do this. We're trying to get the circle to 10 and 6. I can look at that and say, oh, my X value is 10. My Y value, this is like a minus a -6, so -6. And the radius of this circle is going to be square root SQRT of 26, which is whatever that number is. What number is that? 5.009. Okay, so that is, the center and the radius of a circle written that way. So this is really cool. If I know I want to get a circle that looks like this, I can write it this way. If I have a circle that's written like this, I can tell you like where it's centered and how big it is. Same thing. Now, when we write it this way, this part I am going to skip over because there's too much explaining that I'll have to go too far back of how to complete the square. If you can figure this out, or if you want to come in and figure this out, I will help you walk through this, but I don't want to spend, this is backing up far too much. Okay, same thing, vertex. The only trick here is I got X is on my right-hand side. X minus 2 means my vertex, my bottom point is at 2. And this is, plus -9. That's like minus a plus 9. It should be, yeah, I think this is 9. Yeah, okay, that was weird the way this is written. It should be a -9. I don't know why I said plus -9. Something weird going on there. Oh, I just realized your numbers are going to be different here. Your numbers are not going to be the same. So you're going to have to mimic what I did here. And I'll put that into the ed puzzle. Okay. Same thing here. I'm going to skip this one. This may just be one that you don't get if you don't come in and get help on it. There's too much backing up I'd have to do. You could kind of guess, but it would take you a long time. Same thing. Where has this thing been transformed to? Where did the 0, 0 point move? And how has it been dilated? So when it's written this way, I can say, oh, my X value is -1. My Y value is -2. And my M is, the slope is just -2. Okay. Now your numbers will be different, but it'll be kind of in that form. And then finally, this is just to check. This has a slope of -2/5 X plus -3.6. So if I plug in -20, -20 times 2 is -40 divided by 5 is -8. So -8 and -3.6, -8 plus -3.6. That's right. And then this is, I'm having to work backwards. if my y is negative 13.6x, I'm going to have to, I'm going to see if I can figure it out here. 13.6. I'm going to add 3.6 to both sides of the equation. And then I'm going to put this in parentheses and divide the whole thing by 2/5, because I know that's my last step. If I can do it right. Hey, that worked out. This is me working it out on paper, but I'm doing it quickly here. Okay, so this is the last part. We're going to very quickly do this. I will show you where to get the picture that I'm using so you can follow along. And I may actually even put it in here. I may do a separate thing where it's already there. But if it's not there, if you do add the item, image, and go find the image that I showed you how to do, and I think this is in quick access. Yeah, Go Bulldogs, open. Okay, here's my Go Bulldogs. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. So the idea here is I want to try to kind of capture the idea here. And I'm gonna do a few pieces of it, and then your second draft might be to finish it. Notice I've already got a triangle and a rectangle here. And I'm gonna try to make the rectangle work, because he's got a rectangle for a nose. So I'm gonna say polygon, that's x2 comma y2. And I just want to move it down and make it a little shorter. So I'm gonna subtract maybe 10 there. No, too much, 5. Almost. Oh no, that's about right. And then I just need to make it not quite as tall. So I'm going to multiply that by 0.2. Oh, almost perfect. I'm going to make it, so that's a 0.2 if you can't tell what I'm doing there. And then minus, let's do one more. Okay, so this is like the first draft. So this is close. Second draft, you would fix that. Okay, but I've got a rectangle in there now. This triangle is not quite right. I'm going to try to get it to fit there and then use it. So I'm going to change this triangle. That point looks like it's about 1, comma, -3. Yeah, that other point looks like it's at 3.5, comma, -2. No, 2.5. And this looks like it's, the last one looks like 4, -5. All right, so now this lines up. So I can say polygon x1, comma, y1. There's that. Now here's the trick. I don't need to draw the other one. I can just reflect that. So I'm going to reflect that. I'm going to say polygon -x1. I think that's going to flip it the right way, y1. Okay, that flips it over, but it's not quite shifted as much as I would like to. So I'm going to see if I can't shift that a little bit to the left. -3, -2. Okay, getting really close. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's close. I'm going to turn these dots off because I think they're annoying. But the point is, once I've got a triangle that I kind of like, I can probably use it over and over again. I don't necessarily need to write a new triangle. Once I have a rectangle or a square, I can just use it over and over again as long as I'm willing to kind of move it and, you know, make it dilate it. All right, let's do the hat. We'll do that, and we'll do the eyes, and then we'll do the G. Okay, so the hat's a parabola. So I'm going to do y minus 0 equals x minus 0 squared. That's our parent's function. I need to flip it over. So I'm going to put a -1 in front. That flips it over. And this is almost perfect. I'm just going to slide it over a little bit. I think it just needs to go over like 1. No. Oops. What did I just do? It's too much. 1. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Now, I don't want it going all the way down. So this is where we do something called domain. I actually want it to go from about -3 up to about 1. So the way you do that is you do the brace, the curly brackets. And then if you say, okay, I want to go from -3 less than x less than 1. So that gets me, it's not perfect. It's great. Second draft, I would make that better. And let's see, what have we not done yet? We haven't done a circle yet. So let's do the O in the circle. So the O in the circle, once again, a circle is y minus something squared plus x minus something squared equals, I'm going to say 1 for now. Okay, that's our unit circle. So I need to move it up and then make it probably a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go up to 4, and I'm going to go over to 2, maybe 1.5. That's about centered. It may be just a little bit bigger. Almost perfect. I'm going to leave it like that. Okay. Okay. So we just got some lines in here. We've almost got everything we need. We've got some triangles. We've got some things. We're not finished yet, but we've got a good first draft. So I'm going to try to draw this line here. So my basic line is y minus 0 equals some number times x minus 0. This is not the only way to do it. All right. Obviously, I'm going to want to flip that over. So minus 2, maybe minus 1.5. No, minus 1. So minus 1. It's almost aligned with. I just need to move that down just a tiny bit. 5? No, wrong way. Oh, so let's do a plus 0.5. All right, so almost perfect there, except I want it to go from this point to this point. So once again, I'm going to do less than, what is it? I'm going to like -6, less than x, less than, it's going up to -3, I think. Perfect. And then I could do another, I'm actually going to copy that and flip it over because I think that's pretty good. I'm going to copy that. Copy. I think I copied it. We'll see if I copied it. Nope. Copy, Control C, Control V. All right, I'm going to flip it over. It's kind of in the wrong spot down here, so I need to move it up. Let's move it up to -3. -5. -10. Getting closer. And I also need to move it over a little bit. So over 2, 3. Now notice my domain's wrong. So let's extend this out. This is going to go all the way to looks like -1.5. That length is about right. It's not quite tilted the way I like to. I'm going to make this a little steeper. 1.1. There we go. Okay, almost perfect here, except I want to stop it. Oh, it even tells me if I hold over 3.5. -3.5. All right. And so if I kind of want to see what this looks like, it's a little hard to see what the parts of the G are. I'm going to do this. All right. This is the basic idea. This is what most people did. They did a few more things in here. And then when you go to the next slide, you basically copy and paste most of your stuff. There's no real way to get around the copying and pasting the individual lines. So don't make your first ones too complicated. But then either, you know, like I would fix his hat, I would move the nose a little bit, and then I would add in the rest of it. So the first one is like me kind of getting started, showing I know what I do. And the second one is me really doing it. And then there is some reflections that you have to do. If you don't do reflections, these are easy points, but you have to kind of think about how you move things around. So that is just by doing what you've done so far, you're going to get at least something that's not an F on your project. You need to do more to get probably above a D because you've still got quite a bit to go. But this would get you where you don't have a 0 anymore. All right. Thanks for watching.